Good morning on this Wednesday, April the 7th, 2021. Let it be known, we're going to talk beauty this morning with a beauty expert, Deidra Smith. But first, it's a rough morning. We wake up this morning to find that we have not all good news. In fact, I was just informed by our producer, Enchanta Jackson, that Midwin Charles, the CNN and MSNBC analyst, and one that many describe as the real one, she passed away at the age of 47. Her family has not given details on what may have caused her death. But our hearts certainly go out to Midwin Charles, a really, really genuine person. I've had the privilege of meeting and being on shows with Midwin Charles in the past. So she will certainly be missed. Midwin Charles has died at the age of 47. We are expecting our president and CEO, Dr. Ben Chavis, to join us shortly. But in the meantime, we'll get into the news. We also are waking up this morning understanding that yesterday, Alcee Hastings, Florida's first Black federal judge who fought a legendary battle for civil rights, and in 1992 became Florida's first Black congressman since the Civil War ended and served 15 years in the U.S. House of Representatives. Alcee Hastings has died at the age of 84. Alcee Hastings battled stage 4 pancreatic cancer for some time. And we had the privilege of having Alcee Hastings, the congressman, on our show just a few months ago. He a significant member of the Congressional Black Caucus. And right now we will bring on our president and CEO, Dr. Ben Chavis, to talk more about this. Dr. Chavis, good morning. Okay, we lost Dr. Chavis's connection, so we will continue. But anyway, I'm sorry to say anyway, but Congressman Hastings, he advocated for minorities, women, and immigrants. He served as vice chair of the House Rules Committee and the 117th Congress. He also was a big proponent just a week ago. Big proponent. He spoke about the American Jobs Plan put forth by the Biden-Harris administration. He says, I quote, he said, it creates a robust avenue for progress and opportunity for all Americans. The plan will make a significant investment in broadband while also investing in long neglected areas of our infrastructure, such as clean water to schools, housing, and child care facilities to seniors, and long-term care and veterans facilities. In an interview with the Black press ahead of the November elections last year, Alcee Hastings lashed out at former President Donald Trump's claim that he had done more for African Americans than anyone else. He also took issue with Republicans for trying to suppress voters. He told us last year, he says, Trump said he'd done more for African Americans than anybody. I guess Sojourner Truth, Fannie Lou Hamer, Martin Luther King, and others must be turning over in their graves because they gave their lives so that we can have the precious rights that we do have. He says it comes about that our voting rights are under attack. Sensible Americans, those who are really patriotic, make sure that everyone has the right to vote. Alcee Hastings has died at the age of 84. And again, we will attempt to bring on our president and CEO, Dr. Ben Chavis. Dr. Chavis, good morning. You're on mute, Dr. Chavis.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Chavis. We started the morning so far talking about two very unfortunate deaths, that of CNN and MSNBC Midwin Charles, fantastic legal analyst for those networks, and also Congressman Alcee Hastings, who I know you knew well as well, Dr. Chavis.
Yes, I knew both of them very well, and on behalf of the Black Press of America, Karen Carter Richards, our chair of the NMPA, we send our condolences to the Charles family as well as to the Hastings family. Congressman Alcee Hastings was a longtime freedom fighter, former federal judge, member of the Congressional Black Caucus for many years, really an outstanding champion of not only the people of Florida, but all over the United States and throughout the world. And Sister Attorney Charles was also a freedom fighter. So it reminds all of us that we have to do what we can while we have time on this earth to make life better, not only for ourselves, but for all of our people. But we salute them and express our condolences, but we also rededicate our pledge to keep their spirits alive in all that we do today and going forward in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Chavis. And also, in the George Floyd situation, the Derek Chauvin murder trial of George Floyd, the EMT who leads the Minneapolis Police Department's emergency medical response training told jurors yesterday that officers are trained to call for an ambulance and provide medical aid if the situation is quote unquote critical. If you don't have a pulse on a person, Nicole McKenzie said yesterday, if it's critical situation, you have to do both. You have to start a pulse and immediately CPR. CPR along with calling for an ambulance, which is what Derek Chauvin failed to do. Officers who responded also failed to render any medical aid until paramedics arrived. And even after they arrived, Chauvin still had his knee on George Floyd's neck. In a news conference held outside the Minneapolis courthouse yesterday, where the trial is taking place, Floyd's family and attorney Ben Crump introduced the Reverend Al Sharpton, who led them in a prayer vigil. Sharpton came to Minneapolis to visit the family after last week's emotional witness testimony. It was a lot of emotional testimony, and Ben Crump says they have a whole host of family members having to relive them killing George Floyd over and over again as they sit in the courtroom pursuing justice. It causes them and many people to suffer PTSD. The fact that it has a psychological, mental effect, not just on the family, but on people who are watching on television. Ben Crump went on to say that there is no doubt that Chauvin should be convicted of all the charges he faces. And also today is a big day for DMX and his family. The hip-hop superstar remains in a coma following a heart attack last Friday. Today, doctors are expected to perform a host of tests to determine DMX's level of brain function. The tests could let doctors know exactly what chances he has for survival, and it could also help loved ones determine whether to continue life support for the 50-year-old star. In a very emotional display that's been going on since the weekend outside of White Plains Hospital in New York, Rough Riders and others joined in the vigil for the hip-hop superstar who is still trying to come out of this coma. The scene was as touching as you can imagine. Let's take a look at some raw video from that.
And the God that I serve and the one that I pray to is but a wonderful God. He's but an amazing God. And I've seen him do for this day. We thank you for this time. We thank you for this hour. You make no mistakes. God, we thank you for your servant, DMX Simmons. We thank you, Lord God, because he is healed in Jesus' name. So God, we thank you for all that he poured into everyone else on today.
I influenced so many children. I never thought that I would. And I couldn't take credit for the love they get.
Wow. Powerful, powerful video. No need to say that at the end of that, the voice you heard was that of DMX. Dr. Chavis, they are there in full force supporting and trying to help DMX pull through.
Absolutely. And our prayers go out for DMX. As you know, I have a very close relationship with DMX, not only starring in the movie Belly together, but just working over several decades in hip hop and community. He's one of our most talented artists, one of the most gifted geniuses in terms of the spoken word as well as the recorded word. We pray for DMX, and we let his family know. His real name is Earl Simmons, but we love him, and we hope that the doctors find a way to revive him and restore his health. That's our prayer for today.
Yeah, and Dr. Chavis, it's been a very heavy show this morning. So, we don't mean to bring anybody down, but the Black Press has to give you the news as it happens in a way that you probably don't get it anywhere else. But we're going to segue. Beauty is, some say skin deep. Beauty is an eye of the beholder. But as a woman of color, Deidra Smith, concentration was not focused on being a woman of color, but to provide a quality product to women. Her goal when creating her MDEE Beauty line was to help women of all skin tones have choices. This morning, we talked to Deidra Smith. Good morning, Deidra Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sister Deidra.
Good morning, Dr. Chavis.
So tell us a little bit about MDEE Beauty. How did you start it? And you're going to have to tell us about those babies behind you.
Well, MDEE Beauty, it actually started in 2016 when I started doing my research. I wanted to start my own lip line. And then my dad got sick. He was sick already. He got sicker, so I stopped it. And during COVID, something was like, I just started it in COVID. We started doing the research. But because, now you can't go into the manufacturing places, we had to do everything via, Zoom or whatever, virtually. So we got the product started in 2020.
Oh, right. So, and you've been rolling ever since. And speaking of beauty, I have to say good morning to my little sister, Nicole McDaniel. She's watching. So she's a beautiful girl. But I know that's like personal stuff, right? But anyway, Deidra, so you talk about the different skin tones. Talk about the importance of that when it comes to picking out lipstick and lip glosses.
Well, because of colors, like we all have different skin tones. Like some people are real pale. Some of us, especially in the Black community, we have two-tone colors, So when you choose a color for your lips, you want it to look good on you. And I know for years when I shopped, before I even thought about a lip line, I could never find a color that would look good on me or that, made my lips feel good. And so I really wanted to find a lip gloss or lipstick that would fit my complexion and other people's complexions. Because I have friends who are very pale and they feel like, well, that don't look good on me, and friends who are much darker who feel like things don't look good on them. So I wanted to try to fit everybody in that mold.
Yeah. And other beautiful Black women like our chair, Karen Carter Richards is watching, Claudette Perry is watching, another beautiful Black woman. Talk about, if you will, your clients and servicing Black women with beauty products. How important, how big of a business is it right now?
How big a business is my business, or how big of a business?
In general, and you can talk about yours too. Yeah, without question.
And right now, I think it's a big business servicing Black clients because people are trying to find colors that fit our skin outside of even lipstick, like foundation, because a lot of times it doesn't match us completely because again, we're either two-toned or it just too light or too dark. And so it's a big giant is a big money making business now, trying to fit black skin and brown skin. So
yeah. And Deidra, talk, what about the ingredients? I know that's important to a lot of people, the ingredients that are in the makeup.
I think even now more so, most of us really care what we're putting on our skin. I mean, definitely we want something that help us look more brighter, younger. We don't want anything drying our skin out, So I know with us, for the lipsticks, we try to go paraben free and find something that had like a lot of oils in it, so that a lot of women want long lasting lipstick, but usually with long lasting lipstick, it dries your lips out. So we wanted to find ingredients that if you kept it on, if it was a long lasting lipstick, it still felt soft on your lips.
Gotcha. Dr. Chavis, you want to jump in, I'm sure.
Yes. First, I want to salute Deidra Smith for being an entrepreneur and having the courage to start a business during the pandemic. Stacey, when you asked what was the overall, I was just did a little research. The personal care cosmetic industry is a multi-billion-dollar business. Mm-hmm. And Deidra, we made some good news yesterday, or the head of the Children's Defense Fund broke some good news for us, that now for the first time ever in American history, according to the current U.S. Census, they just finished the count, people of color children are the majority of children in America. So what does that mean? That means when these young people grow up, they're going to be buying cosmetics. And if they can find cosmetics from African-American owned and other people of color owned cosmetic companies, I think your company, Deidra, has a great future ahead. So, best wishes to you. We represent the African-American press, Black-owned businesses throughout the country. And one of the things we have to find ways is to sustain our businesses, knowing the marketplace. So I think there's anybody that has a Black-owned business here in 2021, as the nation still struggles with this pandemic, but when we come out, the economy is going to roar back. And we got to make sure that our Black businesses roar back when the economy roars back. So best wishes to you in the cosmetic industry. And one side note, I'm from Oxford, North Carolina, a little small country town in northeastern North Carolina. But guess who's headquartered in Oxford, North Carolina? Revlon,
Wow.
Cosmetics. And I know thousands of people that work at that company, but they never thought about going into business for themselves. So you're a courageous, trailblazing entrepreneur, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Deidra, Dr. Chambers says a courageous entrepreneur. What did it take for you? What was it behind you deciding I'm going to do this?
Well, let me tell you, I actually am an entrepreneur at heart because I have other businesses. So I wish I did, but I have no fear in starting a new business because I don't want to work for anyone else. And the start of it came from my parents. They were hardworking people. My dad got up at 5 a.m. in the morning to go drive. Back then, they delivered dry cleaning to people. He drove to deliver to his clients. My mother, she worked also. She worked for a bank and she did entrepreneurial jobs on the side. So we had a nice backing as children as far as a work ethic. So I have I call it a bad habit. Other people think it's good, of starting businesses because I feel as though that I want to work for myself. So I'm going to start a business that I feel like is a relevant business. I've had one business. I've been in business since 2009 and I have two other businesses. So, and MD is the fourth. So I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
Yeah, it comes through very well, Deidra. And so, there's always, especially, for Black women in particular, when you're starting a business, there are always extra obstacles to overcome. Can you tell us maybe one of the extra obstacles you've had to overcome?
In starting a business, I want to say I had obstacles in work because I had like management jobs and I was either the only Black person or the only Black woman and I was treated differently. So I had to be different to stand out for them to notice me. And so in starting a business, I knew I had to have a certain type of disposition and attitude to get what I wanted, because a lot of times we're not taken seriously, or a lot of things are not yet told to us. And so I don't work alone. I have a team. I believe in having a team, because you can't do everything alone. So I have a team who helps me, and they'll even balance me out when they feel like I'm doing too much, or if they need to, say, well, do this. So I have help in getting the things I need. So I don't try to work alone.
Yeah, and with that, Deidra, I'm sure that there's a whole lot of research into the products, right? What people want, what people need, and what you can deliver. Tell us a little bit about the thought process when you're creating your products.
Well, in researching,
yes,
when I started, I started researching manufacturers and asking them to send me samples of what they had so I can see what was in it. And also, too, I had my friends, they were test dummies. I had them testing different things and just telling me what they thought of it. And in the end, the manufacturer went with, we talked with them, and they told us what would be in the product and how they could help us and how they could make it, what colors we wanted. They were willing to do that. We're even thinking of doing foundations. Right now, I'm wearing an actual concealer that they made for us that I've been trying out. So it's a good manufacturer, and I feel like when you use a product, you need to know what's in it, because I care about my skin. People keep telling me, "Oh, you look younger than you did when you were, when I was younger." That's because women, as we get older, we learn how to take better care of ourselves. And so if we want to take better care of ourselves, we need to take care of our skin and care what's going in it, drink plenty of water, and, etc.
And Deidra, what water? Yeah, I'm looking at a note from our producer. When you said water, she said water as well. Deidra, what would you say is perhaps your most popular product?
The most popular is our Firecracker Red lipstick. I'm wearing a red apple lip gloss today, but Firecracker Red seems to be the most popular because everybody loves red.
Okay. And where can, and Nicole says with her drive and work ethic, talking about you, Deidra, she is very inspiring. I wish her all the best. I will be looking for that lipstick too. And that is a good segue into my next question. Where can people get MDEE Beauty products from?
So online, www.mdeebeauty.com. So we have a website.
Okay, very good. Dr. Chavis, your thoughts, your closing thoughts?
Yes, Deidra, how'd you come up with the name?
Okay, I have a lot of kids, my children, which is 6 of them, and other young people, they call me Mama D. So Mama D is so popular, you can't really use it. So I said MD.
All right.
Look at that. And look, wait a minute, Dr. Chavis, do you see what's behind her? See those pictures behind her? Yes. Look, tell us about that. Those are grandbabies.
Right. I have 6 children. The oldest is 34, the youngest is 22, and I have 4 grandkids, and 3 of the grandkids were born during COVID.
All right. Well, the family continues. The family continues.
Absolutely. COVID babies. Wow. And Deidra, before we let you go, any thoughts, any advice you can give, especially the young women, as it pertains to business, starting business, if they're already in business, what type of advice you can give that might be able to help some others?
Well, my advice would be, even with young, because I see a lot of young people trying to do stuff now. If you love it, start it as a business, and don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. Do it. And if it seems like it's not working well, give it some time, because sometimes it takes a year or more before you even see real profit. Don't give up. Just keep trying and keep going for it. Don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do, because you can do whatever you want to do. That's their thoughts, not yours.
Yeah, and I'll publish it down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, West Side Gazette, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Bobby Henry, you have anything for men?
Why? No, but I wish I would. Thank you. You done gave me another foot, so I definitely will start thinking about men.
She said no. But thank you so much, Deidra Smith. We certainly will be keeping an eye on all your great success, and we appreciate you stopping by this morning on Let It Be Known. The Black Press appreciates you. Dr. Chavis, it's been a tough morning, but you know, it is National Decorating Month. It is time for a little refreshing of your home's interior. Is it? While fashion comes and goes in 20-year cycles, the same isn't exactly true of interior design. If you haven't updated your home decor since, well, the first Bush administration or even the second, then you might be overdue for a little sprucing up. Spring is naturally the time for new beginnings. So April is National Decorating Month, and it comes along just as we need a push to turn over a new stylistic leaf. So we observe National Decorating Month. Let it be known, remember this, the roots of beauty are love and kindness. We will see you tomorrow.